Most business owners think getting a high valuation is the goal. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Valuation is meaningless if you don't get paid in cash. I've seen deals where the headline number looked incredible, 20 million, 30 million, even higher. But when you actually break it down, half was tied to earnouts, another chunk was seller financing, and the guaranteed portion at close was a fraction of what the owner expected. So the real question isn't how much is my business worth, it's how much cash will I actually walk away with on closing day. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to maximize that number, because small changes here can mean millions of dollars of difference in what ends up in your pocket. To start, let me give a perfect example. A few years ago, I worked with an owner who thought he had everything dialed in. His business had strong revenue, healthy profits, and an excellent team. On paper, it looked like a great business. But when buyers came in, they structured the deal with low cash up front and heavy contingencies. Why? Because of risks he didn't even know he was creating. And that's when the real lesson clicked. Buyers don't pay for what you've built. They pay for how safe it feels to buy it. So let me give you a step-by-step breakdown that shows exactly how to make your business feel safe. So buyers compete to give you more cash at close. Step 1, build revenue that buyers actually trust. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Not all revenue is created equal. Most owners think revenue is revenue. Buyers don't. In a buyer's eyes, there are two kinds: unpredictable revenue and predictable revenue. And they will pay dramatically more in cash for the second one. Think about it from a buyer's perspective. Would you rather acquire a business that closes new deals every month just to keep the lights on, or one that already has contracts locked in for the next 12 months? That's why recurring revenue is so powerful. Subscriptions, retainers, long-term contracts, auto-renewing agreements. These signal one thing to a buyer: stability. And stability creates confidence. And confidence is what gets you paid at close. Project-based businesses can still sell well, but buyers will almost always reduce the upfront cash and push risk back onto the seller through earnouts and contingencies, because their underlying concern is, what happens if this pipeline dries up the moment I own it? If they don't feel confident in the answer, they protect themselves, which means less cash for you. So the question worth asking right now is, how can you make your revenue more predictable before you go to market? Even small moves matter. Converting one-off clients to retainers, locking in longer contracts, building recurring service components into your existing offerings. These aren't dramatic changes, but they dramatically change how buyers structure deals. Step 2, prove the business runs without you. This is the one most owners don't want to hear. If your business depends on you to function, it isn't really a business, it's a job, and buyers know the difference. Here's what goes through a buyer's mind during diligence. If this owner leaves, what breaks? Sales? Operations? Key client relationships? And the more things that break, the less cash they're willing to put on the table. Because now they're not just buying a business, they're buying a problem. I've seen this play out repeatedly. Two businesses, same size, same profit. One gets 80 to 90% cash at close, the other gets 40 to 50%. The difference? In one business, the owner was replaceable. In the other, they weren't. So start thinking like a buyer. Ask yourself honestly, if I disappeared for 90 days, what would actually happen? Here's the good news though. You don't need to completely remove yourself overnight, but you do need to show progress. A strong management team, documented processes, delegated decision-making, and most importantly, proof. Proof that revenue continues without your direct involvement. Proof that decisions are being made at levels below you. Buyers don't pay for potential, they pay for proof. The goal isn't perfection, it's perceived independence. And the gap between where most owners are and where buyers need them to be is usually smaller than they think. It just requires knowing what good actually looks like from a buyer's perspective. Step 3, show growth that's already in motion. Here's where it gets interesting. Most owners think the strategy is grow the business, then sell. But the best sellers do something different. They start the growth and let the buyer finish it. Why does that matter? Because buyers don't just pay for what exists. They pay for what they can clearly see coming. But it has to be believable. Not ideas. Not, we've been thinking about expanding into this market. Not a slide in a deck. Actual execution. Even early stage execution. Here's a simple illustration. Two businesses both claim they have a growth opportunity in a new market. One has a concept, the other has initial customers, some early revenue, and a process being tested. Which one feels more real to a buyer? Which one feels less risky? Which one gets more cash up front? Buyers reward momentum, because momentum reduces uncertainty. And uncertainty is the single biggest driver of low cash at close. So instead of waiting until the business is perfect before selling, start executing on your next growth lever now. New channel, new product, new geography. Even if it's messy and early, Messy execution beats perfect ideas every time in a buyer's eyes. Step 4, make your financials bulletproof. Now let's talk about the fastest way to lose trust and cash in a deal. Your numbers don't hold up. Nothing kills cash at close faster than questionable financials. The moment a buyer starts to doubt your numbers, everything changes. They slow down. They dig deeper. They start protecting themselves. And that protection comes directly out of your upfront cash. Here's what most people miss about this. It's not just about accuracy. It's about narrative fit. Do your margins make sense for a business at your stage? Do your expenses align logically with your growth trajectory? Do your add backs feel reasonable and well documented? Buyers aren't just analyzing numbers, they're trying to understand the business behind the numbers. And if the story the financials tell doesn't match the story you're telling, they assume risk. And risk means less cash. You don't necessarily need audited financials, though that's ideal, but you do need clean books, clear reporting, logical and defensible add backs, and no surprises. Reviewed financials are a strong middle ground for most businesses at this stage. More importantly, don't wait until you're in a deal to clean this up. The earlier you fix it, the more confidence you build. And confidence is what gets you paid. Here's the part that ties this all together. Most business owners treat selling like an event. It isn't. It's a process. And the outcome of that process, especially how much cash you receive at close, is determined long before you ever go to market. That's why 80% of businesses that go to market don't sell. And of the ones that do, many leave significant money on the table. Not because they weren't good businesses, but because they weren't prepared the right way. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Cash at close is earned years in advance, through stability, through independence, through momentum, and through financial credibility. Get those 4 things right, and buyers don't just show up, they compete. And when buyers compete, that's when you win. So if you're thinking about selling in the next 1 to 5 years, or you simply want to understand what it would take to maximize your outcome, click the link in the description to schedule a call or watch the free video that breaks down exactly how this works. Because the difference between a good exit and a life-changing one usually comes down to what you do before you sell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.